to another video on the Inside Spurs channel. Happy Saturday morning, early afternoon, depending on when it is to actually see this. I'm not too sure when I'm going to even upload it. Hope you're well. Hope you're having a belter of a weekend so far. I hope you make the most of it. You enjoy it. You get out, get some fresh air, go to the gym, go to the pub, go to the driving range, hit some golf balls. That's always a good one. We're obviously doing the North London Derby preview. That's all I'm talking about in this one. There's going to be no transfers. There's going to be no chatter about that. I'm literally blinkers on, focused on this massive game. So we're talking a little bit of some injury news. We've got some good stuff for Spurs. We've got some, for Arsenal, good stuff, I guess. Excuse me. We'll be talking about form leading into it. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff, all right? So settle down, sit down, and kick back and relax. But if you're new, give us a subscribe. You're very much welcome to join us for the journey. And let's talk just really briefly this game. This game is it's one of the bigger ones in recent years. Obviously, that one that we had with Conte towards the end of the season, that was obviously massive ahead of, us making sure we get top four football ahead of Arsenal. But this is bigger. This is big for many reasons. Obviously, if we look at just us, first and foremost, let's worry about us. Let's don't worry about them for a second. We want top four football. Champions League football is where everything magical about the game really is. European top flight football. Are we ready for it? Should we get it? Should we want it? That's a different question, but let's just say that Champions League football is fantastic. We've had some amazing games in the Champions League over the years, and, we want to be back there. All right? I've missed European football this year, not playing. I miss it. I want to get back there. And the Champions League football is bloody good, right? So, that for us is massive. Villa, obviously, at the moment, sitting ahead of us. I'm going to bring up the league table so I can tell you exactly. They're sitting ahead of us right now, 6 points clear, but they have played 2 games more. The key thing now, though, is they actually have the goal difference on us. They have 21 to our 16. So actually, it's like them being 7 points clear. So with us, that's massive. We have to go into this game wanting to win and aiming for the win. If we switch over to Arsenal, obviously Arsenal right now, right this second, are sitting top of the Premier League by 1 point and an 8 goal difference better off situation than City. And obviously Liverpool are 3 points behind with the same games played. Obviously City have a game in hand, so that's key. Let's not forget that. So for us, it's important to look to stop this Arsenal train. If we stop their train and going for the title win and we aid ourselves by getting a win ahead of our top 4 race, that's a massive, massive deal for us. I think we'd all come out this weekend, regardless of how Aston Villa do, regardless of how Man City do even, and just kind of going, that was a good weekend. We helped ourselves. We helped the 2 teams other than Arsenal in the title race by getting... if we beat Arsenal and Liverpool win, they're back to level on points and Liverpool are back in there again. It's not all over for Liverpool. All right. So, yeah, really, really, really interesting game. Well, we'll talk about team news. Obviously, I spoke yesterday on some team news to let you know, obviously, that Porro and Richarlison are back and they are in contention to feature. Obviously, Desi Udogie now out for the rest of the season and missing the Euros due to that. I think it was quad. I think it was his quad that he had his surgery on. Also, Oliver Skipp has picked up a minor knock. He will be missing. Obviously, I don't think any of us expected him to actually play, but just to let you know, he is injured as well. So if you don't see him on the bench, you might see a Mikey Moore on the bench. Let's keep our eyes peeled for that. So look, it's a really, really interesting game, and I'm really looking forward to it. I think I've seen too much on Twitter and social media, our own fans waxing lyrical about Arsenal. I don't want to see that. I want this as a rivalry. I want not literal blood, but I want verbal blood. I want our fans to go into this game and go, we can end their title charge ourselves. We should then aim also for it that if we aim their title charge, we're also aiding our top 4 charge. That's the way we should look at this. We shouldn't be looking at it going, look at Erdegaard, look at Saliba. We should be looking at it going, don't care. We were better than them at the Emirates earlier on the season, and we were. Only a certain few would say we weren't. We were better than them. We've struggled to break down defensive teams that like to sit back. Arsenal aren't going to sit back. Arsenal will press. Arsenal will look to play against us, and we will do the same, and it will be a very open game. Don't expect this to be 0-0. It never is in a North London derby. North London derby, for me, in the Premier League, is the best derby in the Premier League. Forget the rest of the world. I'm not caring about that. It's the best derby. The animosity, the goals, the quality of football, that's why it's the best. It may not be, you might look at Everton and Liverpool as very heated, but the quality of football in that game isn't anything compared to what you find in a North London derby. Man City, Manchester United, it's not the same. So I'm really looking forward to it. A little bit of team news on Arsenal. They are as fit as you could possibly hope for. Quinton Timber, I believe, is pretty much back for Arsenal now. If he's not featuring this weekend, he'll be back for the next game. But let's talk about Arsenal in a bit more detail. Obviously, last time out, they won 2-0 away to Wolves. Raya was in goal, Kivior, Gabriel, Saliba and Ben White at the back. You had Declan Rice at the 6 with Havertz and Ødegaard either side, with Trossard, Gabby Jesus and Saka up top. I think people keep going, oh yeah, but they absolutely thumped Chelsea. And look how much they did against Wolves. Well, if we just look at the last 5 games, they did. They beat Chelsea in midweek 5-0. They beat Wolves 2-0 away. They then lost away to Bayern Munich. They lost at home to Aston Villa. And they drew against Bayern Munich at home. So as much as people kind of wax lyrical about those 2 games, well, the 3 games before them, they didn't win. They got 1 draw out of 3. They lost the other 2. So let's remember that. So this is going to be a fascinating game. Obviously, I will talk about Spurs as sort of key players and things like that in just a second. To give you an idea of how Spurs done over the last 5, we may have lost to Everton. Not Everton. We may have lost to Newcastle 4-0. I don't know if that happened. I don't know. We'll have to double check that one. We then beat Forest 3-1 at home. We drew 1-1 away to West Ham, beating Luton Town 2-1. Obviously, we may have lost to Fulham 3-0. I'm not too sure again. So again, as they have lost a couple, we've lost a couple. We've also won a couple. They've won a couple. You know what I mean? We're coming off a big loss, and you always respond to a big loss. But also, we've won in the last 2. We're in probably similar form now. Obviously, they played Bayern Munich. We've played Luton Town, so it's a slight difference. Obviously, Luton is much clearer. Look, I'm going to be honest. If I expect to name the starting 11, I'm going to go Vic in goal. I'm going to go Ben Davies at left back and Pedro Porro, thank God, at right back. Mickey and Kuti at centre-half, they're going to need to be better this time because they weren't good enough against Newcastle. So I expect to see a better performance from those 2. I think Mickey's pace is going to be really key to help Ben Davies out with a Saka or Ben White and things like that. And obviously Ødegaard as well. The midfield 3, I expect obviously Madders to be the 10. I think we all remember that game he played earlier on this season, 2 assists. He was magnificent. We're going to need something similar. We're going to need big man, big game, James Maddison this weekend. I'd say Sarr is going to play because I think we want that energy of Sarr. We want to be able to go box to box. And I think maybe even Bentancur is going to start. I think Biss might drop to the bench. Now, I would say Biss, when we played this game earlier on the season, Bissouma was fantastic. He was better than Rice that day. And I think all of us went, why do you need Rice? You have Bissouma. That one's aged pretty poorly, but I think Sarr's going to be massive, and I want to see Sarr. I want that 90 minutes box to box, no lack of energy, and he is a maverick. He's brilliant for that. Your attacking 3, I expect to see Sonny through the centre. I do see Richarlison getting minutes, but I don't see him starting. Obviously, missing time with injury. I think he'll play Kulusevski, and I think he'll play a Johnson or Werner on the left. I think we need to make sure that we're getting at these fullbacks. I think you can get at Zinchenko or Kivior. We really can get at them. Porro is going to be really good for that. I like Ben White, but I think you can get at Ben White for sure. And we're going to need to make sure that we're not getting rattled by the occasion, but we know we can get them rattled by the occasion. They have in previous years at Spurs. They've gotten over their skis a little bit. Gabriel is one of those guys that you can definitely rattle, that the wannabe hard man that he is. But if you sneeze near him, he'll go down like you shot him in the face. But the midfield is where all games are lost, obviously, and games are won. And obviously, they've got a fantastic midfield. Ødegaard has been, fantastic. I think he went a little bit off form a few months back, and he's just come rocketing back to being kind of the Martin Ødegaard that this Premier League has seen. He is very good. Obviously, Declan Rice, we know what Declan Rice offers. He is a key cog to that team. I think they're not in the title race without Declan Rice, genuinely. And then the other midfield, I don't know what to expect. Are they going to go the Havertz routes with Jesus up top? Are they going Havertz up top and then maybe putting Partey into the midfield with Rice being an 8. I think they may do that instead to sort of counteract the Bentancur Sarr aspect. I can kind of see them going Partey at the 6, Rice at the 8, Ødegaard at the 10. Kind of balance out what we're going to be doing. We need to go in there and play our football. We don't need to worry about them. Worry about ourselves. If we hit 4th and 5th gear like we did against them this season, we're not going to be losing this game. Genuinely. I also think this game will be nervy. I don't expect a goal in the first half. I'm going to be weird about that. I just think, like Arsenal when they went to Man City, we're going to take it a bit easier. We're going to hope you make a mistake. And Spurs, they will make mistakes. But Spurs will also force you into your mistakes. We've seen it with Man City. We saw it with Arsenal. We've seen it with Liverpool. They will force you and they will press you to every corner of the pitch and they will force you to make a mistake. We saw in the first game this season with Arsenal, we forced them into mistakes and we capitalised and we scored. We conceded, scored straight away. We were never really losing that game for long. We were always putting pressure on them to mess up. Obviously, they had a very fluky deflection goal. That the penalty was one of those ones that had it been, about this time this season, it's probably not going to be given because they seem to change what's a penalty, what's not a penalty. I don't get it. They change what's an offside nowadays, I think, as well. So, look, I'm really looking forward to the game. I'm actually going to go out a limb. I'm going to go 2-2 again. I do. I think it's going to be one of those games that both teams come out of that and go, we needed those points. We didn't get those points. We needed those points. But I think this is a game where you will see the Maddison step up. I think this is the game where you kind of go, there he is. That's the guy that won Player of the Month. That's the guy who's potentially the best midfielder for a few months in the Premier League. We've missed that. I think this is where you may see a bit of a Kulusevski coming out party again, where you kind of go, that's where he's been. Where have you been? Why have you been? Where have you been? But obviously, recently became a dad. That plays a part. That energy, that dad strength as well. Don't forget dad strength. He'll be able to hold off a few more challenges now. But I think it'll be one of those. Sonny knows this game better than anyone on that pitch. He knows what it's going to take to win that game. You saw him at the first game this season, how much this game means to him. He's the most experienced player on this pitch. And I expect to see a bit of a Sonny showing. And I cannot wait. I cannot wait for the Sunday. Obviously, this could all be absolute hot garbage and we're going to get absolutely thumped 5-0. It can happen. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to be I'm not going to be at the game, but I'm going to be absolutely pumped for this team. And I'm going into this game with confidence the way you should do as a fan. If you're going into this game thinking we're going to get pumped 4, 5, 6-0, don't want to hear it. But anyway, guys, then the video. I hope you did enjoy it. Drop a like on the video if you did. Hit me in the comment section your thoughts and feelings about some of the stuff I talked about in this game. Team news, your thoughts and feelings about maybe what to expect, score lines, all those things. You let me know. Obviously, subscribe to the channel if you're new and hit the bell notification for more. But anyway, guys, then the video. I will see you all very, very soon. Take care, guys.